Let's say you like to trade SPX 0 DTE iron condors, and about an hour into the trade starts moving against you, starts testing you a little bit on one side or another. And now you either A, freeze, or stop out, or you might even double down. Now, let me tell you that if these are one of your first things that you're thinking about, you've probably already lost the game, or you're not really thinking about it at a professional higher level. And in this video, I'm going to share with you how to think about it a lot differently, because it's not just about pushing the button. It's really about understanding your rounds and cycles and thinking about your sizing of what you're going to do next and planning it and mapping it out. So that's what we're going to cover in this video. You see, most people think of an iron condor as a single event. I put on the trade, I take off the trade, I win or I lose. That's where day trading is very popular. That's also why 0 DTE is very popular, because people think, hey, I go in today, I make a trade and I win today, and I've made some money kind of doing things on a day-to-day basis. But what you're not really understanding or thinking about deeper is that this one iron condor that you're doing today is one out of maybe 10 or 20 next trades in the cogwheel, in the big picture of things. It's you got to think about it in terms of multiple rounds or cycles. But what a lot of people do is they're looking at it like a battle and they're winning this one big battle, but they forget about the war. The war is multiple little battles all through time. And that's how we have to think about the iron condor, that it's not just a one-time round for that single day. I have to think about it in terms of a longer term cycle of multiple iterations of these iron condors over the next couple of weeks or months that I'm going to do. And that's how you start really thinking about it at a deeper level. So look, I've probably coached over 400 people in the last 15 years, and I've seen a lot of different screens and accounts, and the traders who blow up aren't the ones who take losses. It's the ones who keep sizing up when they're losing. It's the ones who try to make it up that same day. That's the ones who are thinking shorter term, that I got to make it up today or tomorrow. They don't look at the longer term picture of how I can make it up in maybe the next week or a couple of weeks down the line. And that's how you actually stay sane and profitable in this business, is when you start thinking a little bit more longer term in terms of not just one single trade, not just one event, but in the longer term time horizon. All right, now I'm going to share with you 3 concepts that you can do in order to improve your thinking about these 0 DTE iron condors. Some of these things come directly from our iron condor classes that we have, and you can check out our website if you want to take a look at those further. Now, one of the first things that I want to share with you is looking at layering your entry approach. What a lot of people do is they go in and they gamble on a single entry point. So let's say you're putting on this iron condor and you're saying, hey, I don't think it'll go down past 73 or above 85. So you pick these entry points right here, and that is one big entry point. You might say, okay, well, I'm going to put on 100 contracts right here on the SPX. Now, for some people, hey, that's their size. Other people might do 10 contracts. Some people might do 5 contracts. But what you're doing is you're layering your size on positions all at once in one spot at one point. And that becomes very dangerous, because when you're layering it all in one spot, you're assuming that, hey, that is kind of the mid spot, that it's not going to go higher or lower. And now you're not even thinking about the next day, which we'll get to here shortly. But the point is that when you layer all in one spot, you don't have room for wiggling. Now, the other thing is that as that stock or the price starts moving against you, if you layer it all in one spot, now you've got one side that might be in trouble or the other side that's in trouble. So instead of doing all of this in one point, you could go in and kind of break apart your entries. You could say, hey, I'm going to do 3 entries, and then that'll give me some cushion. And if you do your first entry and the first entry is moving well, you still have 2 entries in your back pocket. Now, that can happen. For example, here's a quick paper trade example where, hey, the entry might be fine and it's working okay and it's doing its thing. But you still have a few entries down the road. So in this case, if let's say you're taking this 3 contract lot size, but the most you want to do is 10, well, you do maybe 3, then do another 3, and then now you've got 6 layered, and then you have 4 remaining. So if you're aiming for a 10 contract size position, and we're going for 10, you might layer 3 right here at the beginning. And if it goes against you, you could layer a brand new 3 contracts a little bit later. So let's say price starts shifting over here. Well, now you've got multi-arrays or dimensions to your iron condor. You don't have an iron condor all in one spot. So even if you lose on this first one, or partly lose, you might win on the second one. Now, some people call this a multi-entry iron condor, and that's fine. You can call it that. Sometimes I call it an array, but basically you're distributing your risk at different entry points. But if you don't go ahead and let's say the market is holding steady and stable, then you don't have to layer on the other ones. Now, there's some problems you could say with that as well. Then you're not going with your normal size, and that is true. But what you're doing is at least protecting and defending yourself, that if things go wrong, you have money in your back pocket. In the same way that, let's say you need a new roof replaced. Well, if you always have cash in your bank in order to pay for that roof, well, you're much safer off. And that's the same in this business. Your capital is your tool. And if you don't have tools in order to manage these positions, you could be in a serious trouble or hurting. And that's what a lot of people do, is they stretch themselves way further than they should. All right, the second point I want to make for you is rebalancing skew. Now, what does this mean? Well, normally people put on an iron condor and then they go deer in the headlights, or they're waiting, or they're hoping. So here's kind of your price. And then you've got your iron condor here waiting for price to kind of move and wiggle. But what happens is that you could recalibrate your skew. Now, one of the ways to do that is layering, which we talked about just a minute ago. But the other way to do that is kind of working one side or another. Now, you could work one side by just layering, let's say, some new verticals that you sell. That's one way to layer skew. Another way is to, let's say, add a vertical spread, like an at the money or out of the money. And it's not a credit spread, just it's a debit spread. You might be buying something, and it could be in a longer dated position, could be like 10 days out. But the point is as things move and shift, you could be tweaking and modifying the skew a bit. So like right here, when I'm looking at this position, this one's delta of negative 4.193, and I've got a pretty fast theta. Now, position itself looks okay, but one of the things you could do is say, hey, well, look, I need this to go down. Well, if that's what you're looking for, and it's kind of moving to the upside over here, let's say it's started to move up, well, you could layer another little position over on this area, and we could sell another little vertical in that area to kind of offset or alleviate pressure. Now, that's assuming you had negative delta. So if you have this negative delta of -1, and then you layer this other one, that'll tweak your deltas, and now you're a little more bullish, or vice versa if you do it on the call side. So that's one way to do it. You could do it with at the money verticals, a little bit out of the money verticals. You can do it in so many different ways, but you could tweak your skew or the way things are balanced in that iron condor to kind of manipulate some of these Greeks. Now, a lot of people don't think about it this way. They're kind of, hey, I've got my one iron condor, I'm sitting in it, it should work out. But if things start moving against you, or it starts, let's say, moving up, then you could layer this other leg over there into kind of tweaking for the position. Another way to do this is, instead of adding to the position, you can actually subtract or reduce from the position. The way to do that is just take one side off. Like, let's say it's moving all the way to this one side over here. You could take off the bad side, because now you've got the safe side, and then you're trying to accumulate for it. Or you could take off the good side, but now you've got the risk of, if it keeps running up, the bad side could get you into even more trouble. So those are a couple of ways to kind of think about it. And if you also do the reduction size, notice here I have a 10 wide. You could also just close this down and go to a 5 wide. Or the other way is just reduce it by going to 2 contracts instead of 3. So again, if we are seeing, hey, something's moving against us, well, instead of closing down the full side, I could just go in and go to just 1 contract, and that'll kind of skew or flip a little bit of my deltas in the direction that I'm maybe looking for. So anyways, that's another way, is just playing and modifying with the skew will help you out. All right, now the third way is to think in terms of rounds or cycles. Now, I've covered this in my trading bucket strategy class, so those of you that have access to the classes, check that out right there. But I'll give you a little preview of how this works. So let's say we go in and we're looking into our trades. Well, we have different rounds or cycles. So what a lot of people do is they're mostly trading in terms of a 1 round or a cycle. So what they have is, on this first trade, hey, I'm aiming to make $200. Did I make it or did I lose it? And that's all they think about. It's just a one-time event. But if you think in terms of rounds or cycles, well, what you could do is say, okay, well, in this $200 that I made or lost, if you won it, what's your next bet size? Well, you go back and you try to aim for 200 and 200, and if you keep winning. But if you lose, well, what is your bet size? And I'll give you a little bit of an idea now, because for a lot of people, they try to make up that trade that next day. But instead, if you make up that trade, let's say a week later, the environment and conditions might actually be different. So if we think in terms of rounds and cycles, we might have, I'm just going to draw out 5 rounds or cycles here. If we think of it in this way, what's going to happen is that, okay, the first one I might be aiming for 200 and I might win that. So let's go in and change some of the colors. So we say, okay, I win 200, win 200. Maybe the next one is, okay, I lose. Let's say in this case, I lose on this round or cycle. Well, this cycle I might lose 500. Okay. Next one, I might lose 100 or win 100 and then win 100. So what happens is that if I lost this 500, here's the big point we want to make, is that if we lose in this 500 round, okay, I don't try to make it up right away immediately, because that's what people do, is they try to make it up in round 4, right? I'm layering my trades also in terms of days. And what a lot of people do is say, okay, well, now I try to make up 600 or 700 because of this $500 loss. But what you have to remember is that market conditions could still be in a problematic state. In fact, this is where you still layer in the same way. And that's why if you do that and you take another hit, you might only lose another 300. But if you doubled up or added more to it, you could have a $900 or $1,000 loss. And that's how those losses start to accelerate. So instead, once we do our 5 trades, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you get through the rounds and cycles. Okay, you did one cycle. Now you go back and you do the next cycle. Well, in this case, if this trade right here in our first cycle was a winner, well, we just clear the deck and we say, okay, well, all right, we'll go back to our normal bet size, our position sizing. And I try to make, another, whatever, 100, 200 bucks. And maybe it worked out. Maybe you made another 200. Great. So that cycle cleared. This one, you won 200 and you say, okay, great. I go back to my next one. But in this case, you might have lost $150. Okay, so now that's going to be a little bit of a problem or issue for later, but that's going to be in our next cycle as we come back to it, because remember, this first one is already done. Now we get to round 3. That's where we lost the 500. Well, what are we going to do? This is where now you have to pay off this group and you have to think about it. Okay, that's the problem, but this might be 5 or 7 days later as you go through your cycle, and you might win back 200 bucks. Okay, but you're still now down $300 in total, but you're going to keep chipping away at this. This one, you lost 300, maybe you win back 200 again, and you're still down 100. So you have to keep working these off, but it may take a couple of weeks till those rounds and these columns get paid off. This 100, it got paid off. You go back to your normal bet size, and maybe you lost $200 on this one. So what you're doing is you're going back to the beginning, and where you won it is the place where you actually, hey, cross it off, go back to your normal size. Where you lost it, you have to kind of work through it to try to pay this off. And it may take multiple times to paying it off, but your goal here now and focus is really just to clear the columns. And you can see how this is much more longer term thinking rather than, hey, I put the trade on and then I'm either going to win or lose, and then tomorrow I try to, make it back if I lost it. And that's where people say, hey, I make things on, I win on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then I lose it and give it back the last half of the week. And that's the same issues, because they're thinking shorter term instead of a longer term cycle, because this alleviates that pressure when you think in terms of rounds and cycles. And again, we covered a lot more of this in that trading buckets class. So check that out in more detail if you have access to the classes. So if you keep these tips and concepts in mind as you're placing your 0 DTE iron Condor, you'll be way better off. For example, layering those positions on your entries, adjusting and tweaking the skew, or even thinking in terms of multiple rounds or cycles. Because a lot of people, what they do is they place that one big iron Condor at once, and then they're hoping things work out. When things don't, they kind of freeze up, deer in the headlights. They've got some problems there, and they just don't know what to do because the position size is now big and they haven't planned in the longer term fashion. But if you can see what's happening here is that when I'm thinking about it in a longer term way of what I will do when things go against me, that's much more professional grade thinking rather than a one single shot or occurrence than what most people do. Now, if you do want to go deeper into some of the concepts here I covered, we do a lot of this in the trading buckets strategy as far as layering goes, as I mentioned to. If you're more interested in iron condors, we've got a couple of classes on that as well, like an iron condors deep dive or even a reverse iron condor. And we've recently just did a zero DTE playbook for those of you that are more into some shorter term trading as well. You can check all these things out at our optionsblackbelt.com website. And that way you can take a look at the full catalog and other classes and courses and workshops that we offer. Now, the reality is your brain naturally wants to fix things. When things are in trouble, when we feel a little pain or pressure on the financial side, or we see some of those losses, the brain, you want to go in and fix things. And especially if you have those tools at your disposal. And a lot of times the right thing to do is sit there and do nothing. Just like we talked about in terms of layering, how if you layer, you can go in and if the position looks good, you don't have to layer, but you don't have your full capital or position on. Or when things start going against us, we want to naturally tweak and modify those things that now we have these tools. So you have to be very careful and disciplined thinking in terms of rounds and cycles as well in the long term. Am I going to fix this position later on? Am I going to take the loss now and make it up maybe 5 rounds later after I do 5 more trades? And that's a very hard thing to do for most people. The thing is most people are going to want to go in tomorrow, and if a trade goes against them, they're going to try to fix it the next day. So be very careful if you take that approach. But if you take some of these tools and tips and tidbits that I shared with you, you'll be much better off in the future, really understanding how to grow your account. You'll be more confident in your trades, and you'll be trading with much more peace because you'll know you'll make it up not tomorrow, but shortly after, maybe in the next week or next month, and it'll be a much more peaceful way to trade. Anyways, thank you so much for joining me. Truly appreciate it. If you want to learn more, check out our website at optionsblackbelt.com.